I'm going to be talking about feeding difficulties associated to tactile defensiveness. One of the main reasons why I wanted to do today's course is because of many parents report of children not being able to chew on different textures of food, or they don't appreciate certain tastes, or an aversion or even gagging at the sight of certain types of food. And when children don't eat, or when children don't eat adequately or don't appreciate healthy food, parents obviously get concerned because it can directly affect the child's growth and development. Now, as a professional, as a speech language pathologist or a professional working with children, we need to be well informed about tactile defensiveness and the intervention strategies for the same, so that we can help children that we work with effectively, especially in terms of feeding. And feeding is definitely a team approach. It does not pertain only to an SLP or an OT or a PT. It is a team approach. We need nutritionists in the team, we need a pediatrician in the team, and together we can help and support the family and the child. And today we are going to specifically talk about tactile defensiveness in children with developmental delays. So what is tactile defensiveness? It is an overreaction or a withdrawal response or a significant aversion or negative reaction or behavior to touch or anything to do with a tactile input. That is tactile defensiveness, and it was first described by Ayres in 1964, way back, quite many years, but I feel still there's a lot of exploration that needs to be done in this area, and professionals need to get more informed and equipped on how to understand, first of all, what tactile defensiveness is, and then work towards helping children overcome tactile defensiveness. So Ayres also said that touched and being touched is so important during the process of feeding, because an infant learns to suckle through the tactile stimuli that he receives, and eventually the infant is able to chew and swallow food as he grows older. Now, tactile stimuli helps the infant actually understand the process of feeding or using his oral structures to suckle, feed, swallow, and all activities or functions to do with feeding. When tactile systems are poorly functioning, then children can have difficulties in suckling, and also consequently this can affect children as they grow older to appreciate different textures of food which is more solid in nature. Now we're going to specifically talk about oral defensiveness, specifically to do with mouth. And the children who have oral defensiveness, they have an avoidance to certain textures of food or certain temperatures of food, or an overall irritation to do with activities of the mouth, which also includes speech, and speech clarity can eventually be affected in children who have tactile or oral defensiveness. I have seen in my practice several children with oral defensiveness, and one child in particular, he could not even see his mother eat curd rice. He would move away, or he would even gag at the sight of his mother eating curd rice. And another child who I worked with on improving his, I wouldn't say improving his, rather I would like to put it as neutralizing his tactile defensiveness. And this child whom I worked with to help neutralize the tactile defensiveness, he started eventually attempting bilabial sounds, which was so difficult for him, and also started exploring fruits which he never had in the past. And his mother was so excited about how he attempted on his own will and accord to taste a different food after we started working on intervention for neutralizing tactile defensiveness. So it is so important for us as professionals and practitioners to understand tactile defensiveness and help children overcome the same. So I'm going to give a handout, and you can get this handout if you click the link that I've left in the description box. And this handout is going to help you understand, number one, tactile defensiveness, and also evaluate the children that you are working with. It's a non-standardized checklist that I have based on review of literature, and I've listed the most commonly occurring tactile defensiveness signs that you can see in children, and how you can help prioritize what you will work first and what will work next. So I've listed a few of them, which includes fair to poor appetite, some of the challenges of children with tactile defensiveness, which is fair to poor appetite, hesitance to eat unfamiliar food, discomfort to eat in other people's houses, refusal of certain foods because of smell and temperature, problems eating vegetables. This is a common concern that we come across every now and then, that my child doesn't want to eat vegetables, often gag, aversion towards textures or consistencies. So how do you use this handout? All you need to do is, I have listed the list of challenges, and here I have mentioned yes and no, which you need to mark yes or no. And finally, on this end, you have the comment section. So for example, if you have a child who often gags or who has an aversion towards textures or consistencies, you're going to mark yes or a no here. And in the comment section, you can choose which one you will target first. So if it was me and I have a child who has difficulties in terms of eating vegetables, who often gags, aversion towards textures or consistencies, then I would prioritize often gag as the top priority to help the child overcome the underlying tactile defensiveness, because gagging can be life-threatening, and I would first opt for often gag as a top priority in my intervention, and I would list it in the comment. So it also has the name, age, gender, and professional diagnosis, which will help you understand what you need to look for in children with specific diagnosis, and what is the priority of the intervention, or what do you choose first to help children overcome the underlying challenges. So you can click the link in the description box, and I will be happy to share this with you, which you can use in your sessions if you're a professional. And if you are a parent, you can use it for your child to help understand what challenges that your child is facing with, and connect with your team who's working with your child, be it your OT or SLP or whoever you are working with, and who's focusing on feeding and speech clarity. In order to understand intervention strategies, you can leave your email ID at the comment box, or you can inbox us your contact number, and we will connect with you and let you know about our upcoming course on oral sensory motor intervention for feeding in children, which is on the 2nd of October, and oral sensory motor intervention for speech clarity, which will be on the 3rd of October. So you go ahead, leave your email ID or inbox your contact number, and we will get in touch with you and share with you more information on the course. And following the course, you will be able to understand how to provide intervention for children with tactile defensiveness and so much more to help improve feeding skills in children, and also speech clarity. So I'm glad you joined us today, and I look forward for you to register for our course. That's on the 2nd and 3rd of October. Go ahead, click the link, and get the handout. It is all free.